For investors, by investors. You're listening to the only show on the planet for real estate investors, wholesalers, rehabbers, landlords, private lenders, cash buyers, fix and flippers. This is Real EstatePreneurs. Welcome to the very first edition of Real EstatePreneurs. So glad that you're here with us. And what you need to know about today's show is we're going to set the foundation for everything else. See, the real estate landscape is changing. And if you keep doing things the old way, you're going to be left behind and forgotten. But good news, you're listening to this show and that's not going to happen to you. So let's dive in with Nate and get going.
Well, look, if you're a real estatePreneur, this is a show to be listening to. This is where you're going to get all the cutting edge information. This is where you're going to learn. This is what you're going to learn. The tactics for marketing. You're going to hear special guest appearances by the investors across the country that are crushing their markets, that are behind the scenes, making deals happen. Talking to guys who are doing 50 deals a month. Some guys doing massive amounts of apartment deals. Everything. So this is the spot to be, real estatePreneurs. If you're trying to get into real estate, you need to be here.
What if you're already in real estate? Can you just skip us?
Well, I don't know. Are you going to go from 0 to 3,000 apartment units overnight? No. But if you're going to go from one house to 3,000 units or one house, one flip a month, yeah, you got to be in here, man.
Man, so
this is for the elite, bro. This is for the elite. It's for the elite investors. These guys that are serious about doing business. These guys that are serious about getting stuff done. This shit isn't for these guys that are just talking about doing real estate. It's guys that are doing it.
So now we got an explicit rating. Thanks, Nate. I was trying to keep it clean for my grandma. Great. Now grandma cannot listen to us, even though she only speaks Spanish. So we're safe. Well, all right. So real estatePreneur, right? So you're telling us who this is for and what is it about? Like, give me a little bit about what we'll be covering, because you talked about apartments, you talked about flips. Is this about how to invest in real estate, or is it about something else?
Yeah, you're going to learn about tactics, marketing, strategies, growth, scaling, through all the different people. Obviously, the expertise that we're bringing in this front is the marketing angle and the relationships, right? So we're bringing in guys that we're going to be doing, obviously, stuff that we're doing in the business, what we're learning from behind the scenes, working with real estatePreneurs, helping them with all their marketing and the pieces they've got going on. We're also going to bring in the guys. We've got relationships with guys and in private masterminds with guys that are crushing the game and doing really, really well. So you're going to learn not only from guys that are doing it, actively investing. So we're going to bring that into the fold, hearing how these guys have been able to go from 0 to 100 at a very, very fast pace, and how they manage their teams, how they scale their businesses, how they build this lifestyle business without having to sacrifice time, energy, and life, in essence.
Yeah. I think that we talked about this a little bit, and we'll let you, our dear listener, it's just us listening to ourselves. I think we have 2 tracks, right? So you're going to be talking and you're a professional. Why don't we just tell people who we are? I guess we're just kicking around and not really why should anybody listen to us? Why should anybody listen to you, Nate?
Well, yeah, great question. So they ought to be listening to me because we've been the hired gun for many, many years, running the marketing for the biggest real estate coaching and training companies out there. Some of the biggest real estate coaching and training companies. We've also been the marketing agency behind the real estate investors across the country that are doing really well on the Facebook front and the Instagram front, growing their business, leveraging paid traffic. So that's one reason. Another reason, obviously, is, my interest, little backstory on me. I came into this business back in 2005 is when I did my first real estate deal. 2002 was when I actually got into the real estate space in the mortgage industry and started funding deals. And then that parlayed into investing in deals. And I did that for many years. And then I started getting into the internet marketing angle of it, inside of it, started growing the internet marketing business. And I used to have an info company training people on how we invested in deals. And then I flipped that business as well. And then I got into flipping businesses, not just real estate. started flipping virtual real estate, and then rolled into the agency side. So we got hired as the agency, and I've been the hired gun helping a lot of these coaching companies, gurus per se, manage their marketing and build their systems and traffic to help a ton of investors across the country with their systems and softwares. So that's it, man.
I think Nate is being modest. He's a guru maker. That's what we're going to call you, the guru maker over at Optimized Assets. Dude is good. Dude is great, actually. We use him. I use him, and I've seen some stellar results. Me, I'm just here because Nate picked me up down at the workforce line. He's like, I need a co-host. Come on. Jonathan Rivera, right? I used to invest in real estate. I used to do a lot of creative real estate. I think this is where we're going to get different angles from the two of us working together. Is Nate is more, I would say, prolific in the marketing side, and that's going to be like his beat. I think that's going to be the people that you want to bring into the show, the spots you want to highlight, the things that probably interest you the most. Me, I like the deal makers, the guys that are doing creative financing, the guys that are in there doing things you never thought of. Like I bought my first house. Well, I bought my first house with a regular mortgage. I bought my second house on a lease option for $5,000, paid $400 a month, and then rented it out, got $800 a month for it, and flipped it a year later for $125,000, which put $20 in my pocket along with my $5. But I'm really more into the creative side. I am an apartment investor as well. So I am a landlord, so I do have some skills there. And I think the one thing that we both have in common, although Nate's much better at it than me, is really he's got intense eye for marketing. I got some direct response experience, but I think that Nate might have just a little bit more.
Maybe. I don't know.
A little bit. So what are we doing today, man? We're talking about the real estate marketing landscape. So what does that even mean, and what's it look like?
Yeah, so I think the biggest challenge is obviously the real estate space is changing. You got people talking about a crash here and there and a correction and all that. And frankly, that will happen because we all know it's cyclical, and there's other big things happening behind the scenes that are going to cause that. But that doesn't matter. For an investors, that's a good thing, because you're going to be in a position to take full advantage of this stuff out there. So what I want to do is take a little time in today to talk about the landscape in regards to what's going on with some of these bigger companies with the technology front that's affecting the real estate investing space. I want to talk about the biggest thing, the number one thing that you could be doing in your business to compete against those people and leverage in today's environment to separate yourself and build your own brand for yourself. So, and with that, for example, those are the things that I'd love to kind of dive in today in this, I guess, inaugural or whatever, the initial episode here.
Whatever we're doing here. Yeah.
Whatever we're doing.
I heard rumors, and this was back, look, I've been in the podcasting space for a while. Back in 2013, I was doing Make Agents Rich with my buddy Darren. And back then, 2013, he would talk about how Zillow was screwing the realtors. And I don't know if you saw the article, I may have sent it to you, but I see that Zillow is now buying properties. Like they're actually straight out competing. Is this real? Is this really happening?
It's happening, man. And they're not the only ones, right? You got Zillow Offers came out. You got companies like OfferPad and Open Door, and they're buying deals. You've got a company that's called Sunday that's out there that's growing. You know, their goal is to stand up a wholesale operation across the country. So if you're a wholesale investor, I mean, these companies are there. They're in your backyard, and they've got billions of dollars funding them. Or they're funded by billionaires, I should say, right? And they've got the dough, they've got the capital to come in and do that. Some of these guys are just overpaying for properties. I forget what it was, but Zillow's first thing in, their first month in business, if I have to go look, I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe what they're paying for properties is kind of crazy. So it makes, as an investor, you got to figure out how to compete against that, right?
I was reading an article, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, and it's almost like in the beginning, they're not even looking for a profit. I think they might even be losing money on these deals. So they're squeezing out everybody. I don't understand. I mean, let's analyze this. I know nobody from Zillow will want to talk to us, but what do you think they're doing? Is it that they're setting up for later to be buying properties, or I don't understand, because they're squeezing people out hard.
Yeah, they're squeezing people out. And I don't know what their long game is, frankly, but at the same time, we all know that wealth is built with real estate. So the end of the day, they've got a massive inventory of real estate. They've got the data behind it telling, they know what's happening, where markets are at and what's going on, right? So you put the right people on that team, which they've got them, right? They have the ability to start buying these properties up. And if they got the capital to do it, then they're just adding to their arm at the end of the day, or their business model, and building their actual valuation more by owning properties. So.
You think so, man?
I'm not the smartest guy out there, man. I just think that I know like owning real estate's a good thing, and they got access to tons of it. So.
No kidding. First shot all day. That's what Darren used to say is like they were taking the listings from the MLS and populating on their website. And so people were searching their website first. Meanwhile, the real estate agents were doing all the work to get the listing, but Zillow was just taking the feed and getting SEO for it and then selling them back their own leads. Like that was what was going on back then. And I mean, it's still going on. I know it's still going on, but I just don't work with real estate agents. What else do you see happening out there?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is, as I mentioned, you got those other companies. You got companies trying to stand up operations across the country. I think you're seeing a changing of the guard on the marketing front. And there's a lot of social marketing that's happening right now with companies, and very, very few investors are taking advantage of that. And so there's a changing of the guard in regards to, there's these We Buy House for Cash guys, right? And great companies, they've done well over the years. They've got their business model, and a lot of guys have done great with it, but I think what's happening is the consumers are smart. There's information at our fingertips. It's not like your direct response. I mean, you've done a lot of the direct mail, and it's not like you got to read a paper on a Sunday to get a response and everything else. I mean, people can go right online and find out exactly what they want when they want it right now and get information. So the consumer's smart, and I think they're also jaded. And we see it on the ads that, some of the stuff we do with our clients and some of the ads we run, you get these people coming out, you're going to buy my house low, you're going to buy my house for cash for cheap, and you're actually going to sell it and make a profit. Well, yes, that's business. What's wrong with that? It's business. But if it's a fair offer, you can decide to take it or leave it. But there's people that are just jaded because of some of that stuff's all gone down over the years. And so there's a changing of the guard, and you have to be more proactive in educating your market these days if you want to separate yourself from these other people. If you just want leads, it's easy to get leads anywhere. You can go buy leads, you can set up campaigns, get leads, you can cold call. There's all kinds of things you can do. But if you want to actually build a sustainable brand in a business and separate yourself from all the other jokers in the marketplace, that's one thing you got to start leveraging. What I think is exciting for anyone listening right now is video marketing. Start leveraging video to build your brand and build your business up, and listen to some of these stats, man. I mean, this might get boring for a second, but I'm going to give you some exciting stats. 85% of all internet users in the United States watch online video content monthly on their devices. So if people are consuming video, 85% of internet users are. Why are we not using it more, right? And then 73% of consumers claim they have been influenced by a company's social media presence when making a decision. So if you're just running an ad that says, we buy houses, and you're not leveraging a video talking about how you helped a seller in your marketplace, you're at a huge disadvantage than the guy who's creating that video, 73% disadvantage. So companies that use video get 66% more qualified leads per year, and a 54% increase in brand awareness. So think about that. So as an investor and you get leads coming in the door, would you like more qualified leads? So, yeah.
No. Hey, I want raggy tire kickers, please.
Yeah. And 72% of people would rather use video to learn about a product. And then 93% of people have landed new customers thanks to a video on social media. So, I mean, those stats are staggering. So you got these companies that aren't leveraging that stuff, that are bigger companies that are heavily funded coming in and buying properties. So what's a unique mechanism that you can use to separate yourself from those companies? And that's people want to also do business. What do we all know, right? People who do business with people they know, like, and trust. So are they going to know, like, and trust some of these bigger brands that they're going to instantly, in their mind, they're going to lump in with someone who's just trying to rip them off and buy their property low? Or are they going to trust the guy or the woman who's on a video talking about how they were able to help a seller and talking about the deal and talking about that scenario and saying, look, I walk these same sidewalks as you, man. I'm here to help. You're going to be someone that's in their market. We're so connected these days with the internet stuff, but yet our communities are so disconnected that people want more community. It's crazy. but people want more community, man. And they want to deal with businesses in their communities. There's a lot of people, especially someone who's struggling with, if you're dealing with a motivated seller because, they're having some issues, they need to get cash out. Well, they want to deal with someone they can, in their community, they can hook up with and talk to that understands them, not some big company that's funded by billionaires.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's fascinating.
There's my rant, dude.
I hadn't really thought about that, because I'm saying, how do you compete with these people? They're doing the SEO. They're backed by billions of dollars. They're going to crush you. And then you're talking about, oh, by the way, just make a video. They're not doing that. So here's how you can get in the door, and kind of, it's like a stealth influence, right? That kind of thing. It's like, oh, I saw a video of this guy, and then you're also doing ads, and then you're also got a social media presence. So I originally thought social media would be a waste of time for real estate investors. So you're saying not necessarily.
No, man. I think it's, and see how big it is. So here's an example. We'll do a couple of things when I need to leverage online. Actually, I'm going to save that piece for another episode. There's a retargeting campaign and how it converted a direct mail buyer into selling another property because they saw a retargeting ad. But we'll get into that on another day. But I think the video front, we see it with our clients that we do videos for, and we see it. Imagine if you had someone who recorded a video of you talking about your company on how you help them sell their house fast with no headaches, no issues, no repairs, all that, like what a lot of investors do. And imagine if you had someone else talking about how you helped them and how it was exactly what they needed for their business. That is going to go way farther in the marketplace. And they're going to be like, hey, look, that video testimonial you can leverage as a video. It doesn't have to be you, but you could leverage something like that. You can record that if you're at the closing table with a seller, man. You can just record that real quick within a minute and leverage that video. That's going to hold way more power in your marketplace for people who need help with selling their house fast. And it's also going to provide trust that, hey, this person's real. They're not out there ripping off Sally Joe over there. They helped her. So there's a huge opportunity. And then one more thing about video. How many times have you been sitting or in a conversation or talking to somebody and someone said, hey, did you see that video on Facebook? Did you see that video on Instagram? How many times have you heard that over the years? And it just grows and grows because more and more people are consuming and staying on the networks longer. So if you're able to control what's in that feed with your video and ads, which we'll talk about in a later episode, that's a huge opportunity for you to be at the kitchen table conversations that are happening going forward just by leveraging something that we all have right here in our pockets with a phone that can record video.
Man, okay. So I want to recap real quick as we're coming to the close. So the market is changing. Things are different than they used to be. What worked before doesn't necessarily work now. And if I'm correct, you're saying the future belongs to those investors who are savvy at marketing, but not only marketing, using video and using social and compounding the two to get better results. Is that where you see things going?
And most importantly, to take it a step higher than just using social and video, but giving value into the marketplace, I think is the biggest piece. So many guys are just trying to extract a lead and not worried about actually putting value into the marketplace. It's all investors, man. We're numbers guys at the end of the day. So if you could put value into the marketplace, that's going to set you up not only as the go-to in your marketplace, as a celebrity, have that little bit celebrity effect, but leveraging video is a fast way for them to do that and put value into the marketplace, into their community.
I think to take it a step further as we're closing out this episode and to give our listeners something actionable, something concrete that they can use right now. I'm sure you've heard of Dean Jackson, haven't you?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Of course. I'm working with Dean on some email, and I could never really, I understand the idea of giving value. And I get it when you say it to me, but sometimes I don't know how to write about it or how to put it into my marketing. And he helped me have a breakthrough. In fact, today, right before we got on, with making the end result that your user wants, their house sold fast or the no headaches, whatever that end result that's going to make them happy, satisfy them, get them what they want. That is how you put value in the marketplace. Make everything around their end result. So actionable little tip there from a copywriter who we both know, and maybe you guys know too. I love marketing. Here's what I want to say. If we were boring, give us a 1-star review and call us names on iTunes. But if there was even one thing that was helpful in today's episode, we're just getting started. We got some work to do. We know that, but we get better with time. Share the show with someone. Share it with someone you think it'll be useful for. And come back next week and we'll do even better than we did today. So anything else you want to say, Dan?
No, that's it.
All right.
Share, like, comment, whatever, right?
There it goes. Level 1, right? Level 1. That's the way to do it. So that is a wrap for Real Estatepreneurs episode 1. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back in your earbuds next time.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.